Thank you for staying with us. Now, Deputy Education Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says Cabinet's position that students in the country's public tertiary institutions should not pay for utilities has not changed. Speaking to lecturers and students at the induction of the third Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, Mr. Ablakwa said government will continue to bear the cost of utilities to lessen the burden on the students. His comments come at a time when Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor has said tertiary institutions and hospitals on government support have to be weaned off. But Deputy Education Minister Okudzeto-Ablakwa maintains students will not be made to pay for utilities.
We want to state for the records that Cabinet position on the issue of payment of utilities has not changed, and that government continues to bear the cost of utilities in our tertiary institutions. We have since spoken to the chairman of VCG, Professor Kupoli, and assured him that we have taken steps to rein in ECG. You know, we have all been on the back of ECG to be more up and doing and collecting their revenues from us. ECG must be headed to the Ministry of Finance, not our campuses, so that we can allow teaching and learning to go on uninterruptedly on our campuses. So we pray that the good Lord himself will give Professor Ablakwa wisdom, will guide his path.
Well, and that was Deputy Education Minister Okudzeto-Ablakwa there addressing a gathering. But we can now go onto the phone lines now and speak to Executive Secretary of the Vice-Chancellor's Ghana, Peter Kaba, who joins us live now over the telephone. Mr. Kaba, good morning and thank you very much for joining us over the telephone, though it was such a short notice, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes. So what the Deputy Minister tells us is that well, government still maintains that students will not be made to pay for utilities in any way, and that government has other means of settling these debts. Now, the first thing I want to find out from you is whether or not there's been any communication from government to yourself, Vice-Chancellor's Ghana, on how they plan on first clearing the debts and second of all paying other costs that are going to recur.
No, we have not had any communication from government to that effect.
Since the last time we spoke, have you not met government? Have you not met any representative from government?
No, it is not for us to meet government on that one. It's an issue that is outstanding. Mm. So we were thinking of an alternative means, which was blocked by the students. So, I mean, why do we meet government when our correspondences have already have gone to government? So if government says we should pay, and the students say they will not pay, then we'll find a way out.
So what happens now? Because I clearly remember a report from government saying that, well, they were going to meet with yourselves and other stakeholders to find a way out to this particular problem. And as things stand now, if you say government has still not met you, yet still the Deputy Minister is saying such a thing to suggest that probably some form of arrangement has been agreed upon, it leaves room for a lot of questions. Don't you agree?
No, we are still waiting for government to call that forum, and then we'll together sit down and then brainstorm as to how to overcome that hurdle. If the government facilitates that one, it will be most appreciated.
So as things stand now, what happens? The Vice-Chancellor's Ghana, the various universities in Ghana, various public universities, I might add, in Ghana, are still having to pay for their utilities, right?
Well, we haven't had any communication to that we should pay. They say we should not be disconnected. That's what we have on our file. We have not been told that we should not pay. I mean, we have been told that we should not be disconnected with the Minister of Health Facilities. We have never been told that we should pay. If we are asked to pay, where are we going to pay from? Is it the student fees? Oh, you say, I read an opinion from a Chronicle this morning that the university should pay from IGF. What is IGF? What is IGF? IGF is just the student fees. They say they were making some calculations on sale of forms. And I think sometimes some of my colleagues in the media, because we are all in the same fraternity, my colleagues should be able to do a little further investigation to find out what we mean by IGF if it comes to university, so that we know where that money is going to come from and how it is going to be used to pay electricity bills.
Okay, so if you're saying you cannot use your internally generated funds to pay for utilities, but again, you mentioned...
You are making the same statement.
I'm just repeating what you said earlier, that you can't use the IGFs to pay for those utilities. Because
we don't even have IGF. We don't have what we call IGF. If student fees is what is IGF, well, fine. Then we can call it IGF. If the students, if they buy phones and you say that is IGF, well, fine, that is IGF.
And are those monies not enough to pay for some of these debts?
That's what I'm saying. We need to do some little bit of fact-finding to know what that money is used for.
Yes, obviously, those monies are used to develop the universities, for instance, roads and other facilities in the various universities. But one would say that electricity is also a very, very important component as far as education, tertiary education is concerned. So if you see the need to invest in roads, why not electricity?
Oh, yeah, that's what we're saying. That if they say we should use it for electricity and you can pay the electricity, then other things, then we should pay for electricity of the various areas, the administration and the halls of residence. And the user of the halls of residence should not pay for what he's using there. Is that what they're trying to say?
I'm listening, sir.
No, I'm asking a question too.
Whether that's what they are trying to say. Well, essentially,
exactly.
all they're saying is...
So if the student is staying in the house of residence and using all type of gadgets, the university should pay for the students, some of whom are even doing business with electricity, we should pay for that one.
So you believe students should be made to pay?
I'm not saying so. I'm only asking a rhetorical question.
We
all need to sit on a round table and discuss it.
What is your personal take on this? Should students be made to pay?
No, my personal matter does not matter. My personal take does not matter in matters of this nature. In issues of this nature, my personal opinion will not definitely matter.
Right. So going forward, what is to happen? Because like you said, most of your campuses keep being disconnected. I mean, the ECG keeps disconnecting campuses. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were told of UMAT and a few others that were also disconnected by the ECG. What is to happen going forward? Seeing that there's no word from government
if they disconnect, we'll continue with academic life. If I go back to my village, there's no this thing. I'll use some other means of getting light to read. So we will not close down the university because there's disconnection. We'll still go ahead. Let me tell you, the students of the University of Ghana themselves agreed to purchase a generator to run their halls of residence so that they will not have power failure. I mean, they will not have doomsday if there's a national grid failure. That exercise itself was very commendable. And if the students themselves agree that they will do this, why can't we? It is more expensive running a generator than contributing some little bit of amount, some little bit of money to pay for the bill. Are you following the point?
Sure.
So if you think that you want to run a generator for, say, even 8 hours or 6 hours in your hall of residence to keep lights flowing, you should be thinking more of paying for electricity than running the generator, which is more expensive. And when we suggest that run the generator, you say no. I mean, contribute to pay, and you say no, you will not do that one. Then you continue running your generator.
Mr. Kaba, many thanks for your time on News Desk this morning.
You're welcome.
Peter Kaba is Executive Secretary of Vice Chancellors Ghana. He joined us on phone with some thoughts on that particular development where indeed government is saying that tertiary students are not going to be made to pay for utilities. That's what he's saying. But essentially, he's saying there has been no such communication to the Vice Chancellors Ghana. They are looking forward to a meeting with government and other stakeholders. We'll bring you much more on that later on. But away from that, we can do some politics. And father of the New Patriotic Party member who was killed by colleague party supporters in Asawase wants those responsible punished. The 61-year-old father, who has the same name. As his deceased son, Abubakar Siddiq, told Joy News, it is unfortunate that members of the biggest opposition party resorted to violence to settle internal matters. He said contrary to fears that his family members would retaliate, all his family is seeking is justice, not further bloodshed.
But Mimi Bushian for Mudia, Mimi to Moon said, say Bibi Ba, Mimi Wode, Mimi a Carboni, Mimi Wode, Mim said, Yankupon, and Bibia by. Into some say, Mim Penny, maybe.
If someone claims he or she won't allow peace to prevail, it might be members of the NPP, but for my family and I, we don't want any retaliation. We have left everything to God. We trust the police will get the perpetrators, and I'll be very happy if they arrest and punish them. There's no need for another bloodshed.
So information we've gathered so far suggests the police will this morning be holding a media briefing on the violence in Asawase, and we can get more on that from correspondent Prince Apia, who joins me on phone now with details of that particular briefing. Prince, good morning, thanks for joining us. Now, has the briefing already commenced?
The briefing has not begun.
Okay.
We are still here waiting for the police and the possible suspects that they claim they've arrested, but they have not started.
Tell us much more about what to expect at this briefing. We are told the police have made about 4 arrests so far. What more do you know about that?
Yeah, what I'm guessing is that they've arrested another person early this morning. So that is what has caused the delay. They are adding the person's name and details to what they have already, so they can brief the media. I'm told that this person that was arrested this morning was part of those who ambushed Abubakar Siddiq last Friday and then stabbed him. So we are waiting for that. But I should add that the funeral of Abubakar Siddiq, you know that they are Muslims, and for Muslims, they don't too much time on a deceased person. So they are waiting for the body from the police today, and they are expected to bury Abubakar Siddiq. Immediately they get the body from the police.
I see. So, based on the information you just gave us, that brings to 5 the number of persons arrested in connection with this particular violence.
Yes, that would be 5. But
Okay.
the total number that will be displayed here today, we can't tell. I don't have the details, but what I'm told is that one person has been arrested this morning. Yeah, those who were arrested yesterday, who will be displayed to the media this morning.
Right, Prince Apia, do stay there. We'll try and come back to you for some more as and when you do have it. I'm sure by midday we should have a lot more on that particular media briefing by the police in the Ashanti region on violence in Asawase in that particular region. There's more news after this break.